This is Natasha reporting for SALT Voices, and I'm here at SALT Abu Dhabi with Faisal Al Hammadi, the founder of YACOB. Welcome to SALT Voices, Faisal. Great to have you with us.
Pleasure.
Tell me a little bit about YACOB, and I think what is your secret sauce? What is this great idea that you're bringing to the world in the form of a company like YACOB?
So for us, we're looking to improve the nutrition of the next generation, and that's why we built a platform that tracks the food consumption behavior of students in schools with the goal of incentivizing them to make healthier food choices.
Okay, and when did you launch YACOB?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. What was the thinking behind it? How did the idea come about?
So my background is in healthcare and food. And back when I worked in the healthcare sector, I realized that a lot of effort and money is being spent on treating diseases such as diabetes, obesity, and not enough is being done on prevention.
Okay, so a lot more on treating and also I think creating awareness, but you're right, prevention I think first and foremost, especially in our part of the world which has a higher incidence of diabetes globally.
Exactly.
Now, you were part of a really interesting panel, a little birdie tells me today at SALT Abu Dhabi, where we covered, I think, any number of topics within this realm of, the future of food security, everything from why feedstock, what we feed, livestock is important, down to gut health. Tell me about, your takeaways from that panel in particular.
So the takeaway is how the value chain starts from farms all the way to the consumers, and what role can each party play in order to make sure that we increase the efficiency of the value chain. So a lot was discussed in terms of food production and where that's going in the future, and also in terms of how consumers are changing their habits when it comes to what they eat and what they expect. So consumers are definitely expecting to eat healthier long term, but currently we know that there's almost no data in terms of what's being consumed by specific users.
This came up in a panel I was in today, or just in general in our part of the world, getting solid data about habits and behaviors in this part of the world. Tell us about the data that you've been able to accumulate through YACOB.
Right, so with us, we work with canteens and schools because we're working with a closed food environment over a long period of time, where it becomes valuable to track what they eat over days, months, years, to see what interventions can have the most positive impact on the food choices. Simple example is that I'd love, once we are in like 1,000 schools, to say that we're able to decrease the level of sugar consumption by 5%. We have access to that real-time data.
But then tell me, how do you link those food habits then to actual health outcomes? Because what you're monitoring is just their consumption habits, right?
Yes.
Are you also monitoring the average health of students as well, so that we know, or in theory, we could extrapolate that because XYZ behavior has changed, we're seeing this kind of outcome in a student?
Exactly. So currently we're working with dietitians and psychologists to see which interventions have that impact. We're doing it manually, and then we're going to digitize what works. Simple example, we ran an intervention with regards to sugar in a school and a sample number of students to see how their food behavior changed over the next few weeks because of that intervention. And we've seen some positive signs.
So you monitor a small group of students.
Exactly.
How many schools is YACOB active right now?
So currently we're in 65 schools, and we have about 15,000 users that purchase through our system.
And where is all this data collected?
So currently it's housed within the YACOB platform. And over the next couple of years, we'll be able to share it with the parents so that they're able to see what their child has consumed during the school day. Simple example of how this could be useful is to say that as a parent, you'd get an email at 4 p.m. saying you've consumed X amount of protein, Y amount of fiber. To complete your requirements for the day, make your child a veggie burger.
You're giving kids one more reason to get a telling off from their parents, being like, I'm making a veggie burger for you today. Tell me, Faisal, what are your dreams and your ambition for YACOB? Because it's really something creative and I think a little refreshing in terms of a startup here in the region. I think what you're looking at obviously incredibly pertinent, because the more we improve the health outcomes of the population, the more productive a population becomes, the better children are able to learn in school, the more they can pay attention, the more they can achieve, maybe their height. I know there are cases, for example, in India, they talk about how the fact pollution is affecting the average height of people growing in places like Delhi. So tell me, I guess, where do you see YACOB going in the next few years?
So ideally, we'd be able to have transparency into the food consumption behavior of students not only in the UAE but globally, and then that's where the data becomes valuable, because we're able to see how habits are formed in different cities, different countries, and how we're able to learn from this data.
Okay, interesting. Is there anything about like the behaviors you've seen so far in your data that maybe you might find, worth sharing with us?
Well, students get surprised when they understand how much sugar is in a certain food product, and seeing how surprised they are gives us the assurance that there is a lack of awareness.
Okay, fascinating. Well, thank you so much for being with us. It's been great speaking with you, and I wish you
Pleasure.
all the best for YACOB. I'm looking forward to seeing YACOB in every school here in the UAE, and who knows, the GCC as well.
Thank you,
Thank
Natasha.
you for being with us, Faisal. Great meeting with
Pleasure.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.